Yeah, so let's do it. Without further ado, I dug into their website real quick, found a bio, and I couldn't edify them better than reading this. After I read this, I was like, wow, we have some rock stars getting ready to come on. So let me real quick, I want to just tell you guys about whom we have coming on today for you to learn and grow and thrive from. This is John and Nadya Melton. They are 7-figure earners, 15-year network marketing veterans, and are currently the top position of their company. They've built a following on Facebook of over 75,000 people and have personally recruited over 1,500 people in their career. I repeat, over 1,500 people in their career. John and Nadya are going to teach you how to attract more prospects, acquire more customers, recruit more people in less time, and create your home business empire with social media. After years of utilizing traditional prospecting and business building methods, they began to realize that achieving success in their business life was costing them greatly in their personal one. That being strong leaders in the industry, they began to research new marketing methods to continue to grow their business. When they began to use social media, that's what these two are absolute fantastic rock stars at, is using social media, their business skyrocketed. They began to focus on branding themselves rather than branding their business. And as they say, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. This couldn't have turned out to be more true, and creating their personal brand changed their life. They experimented with different platforms and techniques and created a rock-solid system that not only worked for them, but thousands of their students and teammates as well. They used their online brand to develop multiple individual income streams. Now they can begin to enjoy their lives, conduct major trainings in areas. They could begin to enjoy their lives and could conduct major areas of business right from home. That's what they do. They work from home. You should see some of the backdrop you guys are going to see here in a second. It is beautiful backdrop what they do.
Bring them on, man.
Yeah, I want to finish right here. Now they travel the world, spend time with their family, and teach others to achieve what they've accomplished, the ultimate celebrity success level lifestyle. John and Nadya Melton, we are excited to have you guys on. Let's bring them on and introduce you guys to them. Without further ado, here we go.
Maybe.
There
they are.
Success.
John, Nadya Melton, welcome to the Online Sales Pro Facebook Live. We are so ecstatic to have you on here, and I apologize for the rather long edification, but it is well deserved. So we appreciate you guys, and so happy to have you on here today.
Yeah, we're excited to be here, man. We appreciate the invitation and excited to bring some valuable content.
Let's have some fun with it. Let's face it, for sure.
I love it.
So props that you guys use sometimes, those big glasses. I always think those
around somewhere.
I know. Shall we grab them?
No, maybe later.
Funny.
Got to mix it up.
So
this is true.
We are just. I mean, we crossed paths quite a few years ago, and it is so wonderful to see how you guys have pressed through. I mean, so many people, business takes corners, takes turns, that when they hit a wall, they don't get a ladder and go over it. They just turn around and walk the other direction. And it is a testament to, I would say, your leadership. I would say it's a testament to your belief in the opportunity. I'd say it's a testament to your commitment to yourselves and your business growth and your children. And even, I mean, that sometimes is something we got to look down and we go, I don't want to make this call. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to drive across town. But I got some little kids down the hall that if I don't make these sacrifices, that then we're going to be making different sacrifices. And so it's incredible to see where you guys are now the users on here. I don't know if you understand this. They have the biggest team in their entire company. So that's something worth applauding over already. We're so excited. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring you guys on here is that Joel and I, we built this software company. We help people get started online, but our focus is really taking the beginner, the person who's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know exactly where to go. I'm excited about my future, but I need some guidance. And that's what we strive to do with an online platform. And so our users are basically just emerging entrepreneurs, just puppies, but so excited and excited to learn. And I know you guys have some fantastic trainings, and we're going to talk about something you guys even created here towards the end. But I just want to really let you guys know we've got over 200 different network marketing companies, real estate agents, insurance agents, but people who are just looking for some guidance. And so if you guys have, sort of some messages for that new person, that is who's going to fall in love with you right now, like we already have. So,
cool.
So there you go. There's an opener right there for you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this, if someone's brand new, and we just did a video on this earlier today, if you're brand new in network marketing, one of the biggest things is you have to have some patience and long-term vision, because, you know, this is our first year cracking 7 figures. We didn't crack 6 figures until year 7. So, you know, it takes time to build up a business like this. Like, you think about it, when you go get a regular job, they don't say, hey, if you work hard next year, you could retire. No, they're telling you in 40 years you can retire. And we know that most people, when they retire, they don't have enough money to live off of. So they have to go get a job at Walmart or whatever. So the truth is, you have to think long term. You may suck the first couple years. In fact, my first 2 years, in the interview I was doing earlier today, I was talking about how my first 2 years, I spent more than I made. Now, the company we were in at that time, you know, and Nadya can attest to this because that's where we met. We met in our first network marketing company 15 years ago. There was a lot of overhead, a lot of expenses. Nowadays, you just don't have that type of expense. Typically, you're not working out of an office. You're not running ads. You're not, you know, doing all the stuff that we did. We used to go to seminars once a month, and the seminar ticket cost was $200 to $400 every time. They called them EP, educational programs. But on top of all of the long-term vision and the patience you have, simultaneously you have to take action every single day, whether that's an hour a day, 10 hours a day, 10 minutes a day. I don't know how much time you have, but in the cracks of your schedule, you have to take action. And it's really mastering the mundane, right? It's basics. It's exposing people to the business, building relationships, following up. And then all the while, and this is what really helped us in the beginning days, because there was no social media back then. Like, you didn't have all the virtual tools to stay in touch with people like you do nowadays. You know, plugging into the battery charger, man, like staying close to that campfire, going to the meetings, plugging in with your upline, surrounding yourself with other like-minded people. Like, the more I spent time with people that were dreaming big, playing big, people that were succeeding in business, the more that I started to succeed in business and think like they thought, right? Like, when I first got involved in network marketing, I had, you know, earrings, a tongue ring, like total punk.
So cool.
Yeah, I had no dress shirts. I had no business being in business. Like, I was, and no joke, like, I literally was like in trouble with the law. Like, I mean, I had some bad stuff going on. Like, I was headed down the wrong path. Like, network marketing, and Nadya, for that matter, saved my arse. Like, I was not headed down the right path. So all of the personal development, law of association, spending time with people that were wanting to be a successful entrepreneur, like, that's what changed my life. So it wasn't about the money that I made the first couple of years, which wasn't a lot. It was being in that environment and surrounding myself with those individuals.
Education.
Yeah,
For sure.
and be able to
That's fantastic. So
it's
just it was getting around good people.
Yeah.
For you, John. And I would love to just, you know, kind of see Nadya's principles. I mean, we see you as the social media celebrity status. I love all you guys have the best stuff. Like, Joel and I, we're talking in the background. We're like, they just have the best stuff. Like, your imagery, like all the stuff you guys put together is so good. It's just first class. So,
well, and I want you guys to know that we've watched since the beginning of these lives that you guys start hammering all the time. And we used to compare, like, all right, we still got them. We still got 50 more viewers than them. And then you just blew right by us in like a week or two. And we don't even compare anymore. We can't even keep up. They got hundreds of viewers. You get thousands of views. And it's really, you know, because you guys put in that foundational work back in the day, right? You didn't give up. You worked through it. I mean, you said a couple key terms already I want our members to write down. Patience, long-term vision. I mean, if you're in this for the short run and you think it's just going to be a quick hit, like, you're probably you shouldn't be watching this live. You're probably in the wrong career choice. But when you invest in yourself and you have that persistence and you want to learn and you submerge yourself with the right people, right? And you surround yourself with the right environments, the right trainings, the right developments, you put yourself in the position to master the basics. And this is the second guest we've had in this week. And you both have led with great people do the basics really well. We do them better than most people. And there's really no hidden formula other than learning, you know, adapting, going through some failures, but also having a teammate there to bounce things off of probably really helps. So maybe you guys can talk a little bit about how you guys are able to work with each other on such a close daily basis. Because I know a lot of our members have that problem. You know, they may not even have the support yet of the loved one because they're still in that early stage where they're spending more than they're making. But when you powered through that, I mean, I had that stage too. We weren't making any money for a year or two when we did this thing. And, we could work every day. But how do you guys do that? How do you do that?
Yeah, that is such a good question. I love it. And you guys are the best. Stop it. All right. So here's the thing, right? When it comes to you starting in business, especially when you're new, I think all of us struggle with comparitis, right? Like people look at you guys and now people accuse us of being a natural at video. And I got to level with you guys. It was a hot mess. And so if you're watching this video and you're new and your life doesn't look like it's a little bit of a hot mess, like a mess you put in a microwave and you let it kind of just really get hot, right? So for John and I, so there's advantages and disadvantages. I will tell you this, the struggle is for sure real. So the example I will say, when we started doing videos, right, a couple of years ago, we really were serious about making the transition from like never being home, never seeing our kids, really sacrificing our family to build the business. So now we go, my gosh, we have to create the lifestyle. Like we want to make the money, but we don't want to sacrifice. And the piece of advice we heard was do videos, like master videos. And I'm telling you, when I started doing videos, it was so bad. Like it was brutal. And then I would watch the video and then I would be sweating profusely. And it took like hundreds of videos.
But let's also we are
that John was really good at it.
But
it was so annoying.
I wasn't going to point that out, but
So
since
annoying.
you said something,
well, this is
I just want to point out that we're also our own worst enemy. Like,
okay, this is true.
We beat ourselves up because, like, she shared one of her first videos,
it was
and she was like, "Oh, it was so bad. You guys have to see this." And everybody that watched it was like, "That wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't as good as you are now, but it wasn't bad." So something.
They were really kind. You know how we do it to other people? You're like, "Oh, you did so good," but truly, it was like, a car crash happening. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. But here's what I will say, right? Like you have to just be okay with being bad at first. And then my last.
And if you're good, that means you waited too long.
That means you've been stingy. See what I'm saying? So if your first phone call was not that bad, if your first video was not that bad, if your first whatever was not that bad, that means you are a little bit stingy. And if you're stingy with your goodness, your bank account is going to be stingy with you as well. And that is the formula that is not even exciting or worth talking about for much longer. See? So in the way that like John and I kind of work together, right? Even though for me, you guys, I am telling you, it was so torturous because like I looked at him and I was comparing. So lesson 1, don't compare. Lesson 2 is we really learned how to, work with each other's, like John focuses on his strengths and then I focus on my strengths, which is where I talk about eye candy. Like I love creating things that like were beautiful. You guys, here's what I will say about social media. If we want to get into people's heads, we have to go through their eyes, right? And so nowadays, people really enjoy quality content, like less is more. So if you're going to take time creating something, make it high definition, like make it pretty. And if it's not your strength, like John, baby, is it your strength to create?
No.
Can you imagine if I'm like, John, you're going to create like this awesome video. You're going to like do some edits, not his thing.
No. Well, it's funny because in the beginning, I didn't even care about having good lighting.
See what I mean?
Like I would do videos with crappy lighting. I didn't care.
And it was like he was shaking the camera. He was making everybody dizzy. I don't know how we held on to people through the beginning days.
I didn't care if the video was horizontal or vertical. Like it didn't matter to me if it was, so what if they couldn't really hear me, babe? It doesn't matter. It's still good content. And she's like,
I'm like, you bite your tongue. That is horrible things you're saying.
And now it's like, I can't do a video. I can't do a video now unless it's like good lighting. And I got because you start to see the difference in a crappy video with a bad camera, bad audio, bad lighting, or people that are like literally
brand too,
holding their phone and they're shaking and then they're whoops, sorry, I dropped you guys. Like, dude, I'm not gonna watch that shit. And I'm sorry. So I think it's really important that all of us realize that it's not about, because sometimes we think to ourselves like, oh, who cares? Like these are all my friends. No, dude. You're not online to recruit and sell to your existing friends. You could get some of them, but that's not, if you're looking to build a business online or even offline, right? Back in the day, it was the 3-foot rule. Anybody within 3 feet, you talk to them, right? You talk to everyone everywhere you go, which is funny because I never really liked doing that, like ever. And that's why I would call leads. I would do resume. I would do anything to not have to prospect my waiter, my bartender, my neighbors, the people at the gym. Like, I never want to be that person. Never have been, never will be. And I used to say to myself, this is probably why I'm not as successful as other people, because they'll recruit their neighbors and they'll talk to people everywhere they go. I don't want to be that guy, right? So anyway, I digress. Yeah. You have to realize that the point of marketing and branding yourself, the reason you want to put yourself online and do it effectively is because you want people you don't know to find you. Right. And then you need them to be impressed by you. They have to see that you're a successful person and your page just oozes happiness, success. Excitement. And that doesn't mean you have to be making a bunch of money. Because here's the truth. You could land on my page or one of my leaders' pages or someone that's not even making that much money yet. You wouldn't be able to tell because the people that follow what we teach them, right? And a lot of the same stuff that you guys are teaching, right? Joel and Grady, you guys are teaching a lot of the same stuff. You like to have a great screenshot or a great headshot or to have like, memes that look like it's not that difficult for you to put yourself out there in a positive way online with effectively creating good content, good imagery, all that stuff. I mean, like I just talked to a lady on my team earlier and she's like, you know what? I spent all this time creating images and, working on my website. She's like, I finally just outsourced a lot of that stuff for like pennies on the dollar. Right. So sometimes we get in our own way and we think like, I can't do videos till I have my selfie stick and I have a ring light and I have a better phone and I have more memory on my phone. Like, dude, you just have to start doing it.
Ugly and improve as you go.
Yeah.
Always.
But be aware that you need to get better.
Be aware. So you guys, here's the thing, right? When we're new and we hear advice, I know for me, I used to get really, really overwhelmed because there's so much to learn, right? There's so much information. There's so many gurus and they all have all these different strategies. So you have to stop chasing tactics and you have to implement a solid strategy, which is what you guys teach. So you have to make sure that you stay plugged into this community, right? But then every day, your goal is to focus on your income producing. Also, look for one thing that you can do better. So you may be a hot mess and you're going to be a hot mess, maybe for some time, right? You have to kind of like be okay with that, but it's not okay if you stay there. Like that to me is a tragedy. Can you imagine if we tune into you a year from now and it's still a hot mess? That was the same thing a year ago.
Or imagine if we were still doing PBRs every night.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Shut the front door.
We would be if it wasn't for me. She didn't even want to hear it. I was like, babe,
do not even cycle back.
I was like, babe,
I was on the roll.
I was like, babe, I don't think I want to do home meetings anymore. I think I want to find a way to build it online. And so I think maybe we should even look at other things.
I think he's backing up my point.
She was like, la, 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 la.
Okay, so we have to open our minds. Sure, baby, you said it. Our minds are like a parachute. They work best when it's open, right? So new information is good, but what is not good is not implemented. So every day, look for one thing that you can improve, right? I think that's really key.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's important to start. And that was you may not even know what you just did when you turned off that light. I've been talking to my marketing team, like you need better lighting. Like I have a bunch of equipment here that I haven't set up yet, with stands and lighting and stuff. When you turned off that light, I finally understood what they were saying. So like the way that you guys are dynamic, together, the duo together, you guys say, don't compare. And you complement each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you work on those. So Nadya convinced you that lighting was important. John just convinced me that lighting is important. Hopefully, he convinced all of you guys just by clicking off that light and you seeing the difference, because you can start and you just do things a little better. And then you'll get a little better. And you still may be bad, and that's okay, but people will see your progression. And as you're growing, they'll say, this guy's onto something. He's got better lighting. He's got better equipment. He has better content. He speaks more clearly. I can understand him. His phone's not this way. Little things. And then they're like, he could teach me these things. Yeah. So he's leading with value by leading by example, by continually improving. And that's kind of one of the OSP core elements is we're always improving our system because we want it to be the best, not only for us, but for all of our members. But you guys do the same thing out there in the social media world. And the way that you guys work together is amazing. I mean, it really is.
So you said one line that I want to just touch on for a second. You said what? You said focus on your IPAs, your income producing activities, right? Prospecting, talking to someone about your product opportunity, or helping someone talk about your product or opportunity. That's pretty much two of the most important income producing activities. But you also said, what can you focus on to become better? And I learned this from Brian Tracy. He talks about that your success is defined by the height of your weakest skill. So if you're great at generating leads, but you can't present or close, generating more leads will not help you become more successful. Focusing on closing and focusing on presenting and getting over those the butterflies of calling prospects, as hard as it is the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, by the time you call 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 leads, you're a rock star. And that's the thing that people sometimes mistake as process. I'm great at generating leads. I'll just generate more leads, or I'll just keep calling the same people over and over, and I'll not generate more leads. And so it's focusing on just what you said, Nadya. What can you focus on each day to become better at? I love that.
Stop when you're not doing something right or good. You'll never get to that next phase of success, right? So
yes, and you guys, here's how you got to look at it. If you really struggle, you have to have fun with it. Like, I used to be so stiff, right, baby? And now it was like brutal. Like, it was so brutal because we would do a video and I have like certain
we would finish the video and she's like, why did you say that one thing about blah, blah, blah? And I'm
like, I had 1, 2, 3s and I had ABCs, and then John would go on tension. I'm like, baby, what a plan. Why are you going off the tension like that? It was
structure. Yeah.
And here's what I've learned. Although it's good to have some bullets and you got to be prepared, but at the same time, if you're so rigid and you're so stiff, it's like, excuse me, your highness, can we take the stick out of the butt and can we just like have fun? Because this is not the way you usually would operate with your best friend.
Yeah.
And so, and I feel like for me, once I got to the point where I could look into the camera dot, or like I would be on a call with the prospect or whatever, and I would just pretend like I was talking to my best friend or somebody that already loves me, and they already go, dude, I'm open-minded, tell me what's going on, like teach me. Everything shifted. Yeah. And so energy is everything, right? Knowledge on ice, or what is it called? Excitement.
What?
No words.
You're talking about knowledge on. Are you talking about it? You're talking about ignorance on fire is better knowledge on ice.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, but we should not be ignorant. I think we should merge those two phrases together. I think it's important that you're knowledgeable and you're improving, you're growing. But also, if you're like not excited and you're not having fun with it, then it's going to be a snooze fest. And you guys, you know what they say about snooze fest.
What do they say?
Nobody wants to participate in that.
That's funny. That's awesome. So you said something right there. It was in regards to, I lost it.
That's all right.
Help me out here. It was so good, and you just said it, and I wanted to highlight it. Joel, fill for 13 seconds. Let me think.
I can fill for whatever amount of seconds. That's fine. So, John and Nadia, you guys are in a. Do you have it?
I got it. People want to work with people that they like. And so you guys come across as people that you like. And also people make decisions on who they join if they say to themselves, do I want to do what this person is doing? So in your first example, now, if you're super rigid and you're like, this is and it has to be done this way, people go, I don't have time to be so focused and so rigid. I can kind of tell them I like the product and give some samples and just being very casual. Like there isn't a verbatim script you must follow, otherwise you're going to fail. It's just we teach when we recruit, we teach, and we're showing people how easy it is. You hand someone a sample or you send someone a video. And that's something that I think you guys really, really highly emulate here, is that you are showing your audience and showing our audience now, which we're so appreciative of, how simple it is to actually build a business. Have good lighting, have good value to give, but constantly be putting it out there. And so that's maybe something more we would like to touch on. Like, what are some of your guys' you don't have to go into specifics, but if you want to throw some things, what are some like your things when you go on live? Like I see you, John, you always have like great, like 12-minute videos that have like 9,000 shares and 175 million views. And I'm like, John Melton is just rocking it.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So it's in that ballpark. We round it up. But what do you guys, when you go on live, what do you try to share? But do you listen to a podcast and summarize it? Do you listen to a book? Like, what are some of the things that inspire you guys to go on and create and give?
Well, I think one of the things that helps me personally, and I'll let Nadia say her stuff to answer the question, but like for me, for my stuff that I come up with, a lot of it honestly has to do with the fact that I pay attention to what's going on in the marketplace. So if I see a video that Bob Heilig does, or Eric Worre, or Ray Higdon, or Jesse Lee, or Chalene Johnson, if I see there's certain topics, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone. I mean, there's so many people, right? You guys, there's so many leaders out there and people you could follow. If I see there's certain hot topics that are getting shared or it's being talked about or whatever, that's something I'll pay attention to. So you got to start looking at everything differently. You know, Ray Higdon taught us this. Instead of being a consumer of information and just being like, let me learn, you have to start thinking like a marketer and start listening differently. So when the marketplace is asking questions, or, you know, we're also, or specifically, I'm in the trenches with my team. So like Nadya was talking about strengths and weaknesses. Like I love communicating with the team every day, all the time. Like I'm in the trenches with my team. So I know what they're struggling with. And I'm like, well, if this is happening to my team, this is happening to everybody's team. Like, you know, oh, it's the summertime and, you know, less people are buying products or joining businesses. Okay, let me talk about that. Or, oh, I'm struggling with what to talk about in my live videos. I'm struggling with follow-up. I'm struggling with closing. I'm struggling with motivating my team. It's like all the same stuff that everybody's struggling with. And I know because, again, I'm paying attention to the marketplace. I'm paying attention to what other trainers and speakers are talking about. And I'm paying attention to what my own organization is telling me and what they're struggling with. So it's just so easy if you just listen differently to what everyone else is teaching. Like, you know, if you watch a Gary Vaynerchuk video, he doesn't just come up with videos for no reason. It's because he's responding to what it is he hears going on in the marketplace, right? And this is for anybody you follow. Don't just think, well, wait, what were all the names of the people he said? It's whoever you follow, Brendan Bouchard, Tony Robbins, like all of them are addressing conversations and different topics and subjects based on what their audience needs or is complaining about. So you just have to start thinking like a marketer. Yeah. Because, you know, it's funny. We get involved in network marketing or internet marketing or affiliate marketing. We don't know nothing about marketing. Yeah. You know, and most companies don't teach it either. Yeah. Most companies don't teach curiosity marketing, curiosity or attraction marketing or curiosity posts or how to brand yourself and be you online. They don't teach that stuff, right? In fact, a lot of companies are still very old school because if a company built in the 90s or even before that, and they became a $700 million company or $1 billion company or whatever, if they're still doing the same volume or close to that they were doing in the 90s, and so are a lot of the leaders, why would they change? Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times I say you got to use social media. If they're doing 800 million a year, they're like, okay, we're doing 800 million a year. So until 800 million drops to 400 million, we ain't changing nothing. And I get it because you know what? It is still effective to go out in your neighborhood and talk to people. It is still effective.
Anything
our old upline, our old upline still does home meetings all the time, and it does work. I don't want to do it. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. In fact, we all know a top 8-figure earner, and we know what he teaches is he calls leads. He buys leads and he calls them. He dials for dollars. I would never do that. I mean, I shouldn't say never because I did it, but I would never, baby. I would never do it again. Right. I would never do it again. Right. So for me, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. So these companies are still doing what they're doing, but I can't tell you how many people every single day come across our content and our training. And same with you guys. I know you guys are attracting the same crowd we are. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. This is so much better. I don't have to hound.
2017 way to build it.
Yeah, I don't have to hound my friends and family and call them over and over.
You guys, it's called evolvement. I like it, baby.
So you guys have crafted and coined this revolutionary #1 team building system called ATM. And so what someone who might not know, that might just mean a machine that punts out money. The ATM system.
Much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
That was on purpose.
Oh, very good.
So we're always actually Jesse Lee's the one that came up with that originally.
I love it. So
that's what he's like. Oh, we call it ATM. We're call it ATM. I'm like, dude, that's perfect. So our team just really adopted that conversation. So even before I knew Jesse Lee, even before we were in the company we're in now, even before we really had this like dialed in, back when I was in the company grade that we were in together, right? Like. What I did was I started a Facebook group, a team group. And, you know, I had people that I couldn't sign up. And I'm like, I don't want to have to keep messaging them. Like I even back in 2013 and 14, I was already getting sick of calling people. When I'm like, it's just so easy to shoot them a text or a Facebook message, right? And I don't even know if Facebook Messenger was that popular yet. Like, it was all just starting. But the one thing I knew is, I'm like, I got these people that are in all these different markets, because prior to that, we never really built teams in different cities and states. We would, well, we did, but it was within driving distance cities and states, right? It wasn't until 2013 when we left the company we were with for 7 years and we started really building more virtually. And we had this team Facebook group, and I'm like, dude, I got all these people. Like, I need to do something with them. And I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. And Danny Johnson, one of our first seminars, she taught expose, involve, upgrade. And we were like, that's genius. We're going to do it online. So what I would do is if somebody was thinking about getting started, I would add them into our private team group. So instead of just adding affiliates, or, you know, whatever you call them, affiliates, right? Distributors, instead of just adding people that join your team in the group, I would add people that were thinking about joining. Because I'm like, look, if they signed up, I would get them on the training call. I'd get them in this private group. I'm going to just treat this person as if they joined, right? Like, we used to do that with offline meetings. If we did a home meeting, we would tell the person, if you sign up, come to training on Saturday. If you're thinking about signing up, come to training on Saturday, because if you sign up, that's the next step anyway.
Right.
So we started adding people into this group, and it was funny. I didn't really realize how effective it was until like 4 or 5 months later. And I had this guy, Brian, hit me up. I should tell him this, how much
you should tell him, baby.
So he follows up with me, and he goes, hey man, I've been watching all the stuff going on with the company, and I've been paying attention to your group. I saw one of your videos last week, like in my private group that I added him to, and I just forgot to follow up, right? Like, even us, you know, at this level, we forget to follow up with people. And he goes, I'm ready to get started. And he does a $500 pack just like that. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. Like, I'm just going to start teaching my team. Anytime you got someone interested in the business, add them into the group, because if they were to join, the next step would be to add them to the group anyway, because that's where we had our team training. We didn't have a website anymore. We had to maintain all that. We just did everything in these private groups. So fast forward now, what we do is, because, you know, we've evolved, obviously, is now we have a group that is dedicated to promoting our products. Now, in the company we're in, it just happens to be more focused on weight loss. And it doesn't matter. You could be selling travel. You could do affiliate stuff. I mean, we built our personal brand, our My Lifestyle Academy brand, with a personal Facebook group. It has over 17,000 members now. And it's just a free Facebook community for network marketers and online entrepreneurs, right? So we know this community, this private community stuff works. But so now we have this weight loss community. And again, it could be any product. Just for us, it happens to be weight loss, because that's what we sell. It has over 200,000 people in it. 200,000 all day long. People are ATMing. They're adding and tagging their friends that want to learn more about this weight loss program. And then we have a follow-up message that they send to the person, like, hey, I added you to this fitness community, this 12-week program, you know, check out the before and afters and check out what I tagged you. It's just like a real short script. So it's like ATM all day long. And we've got people that literally, they ATM'd 20 people a day for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and they hit top ranks in the company, and all they teach their team. So instead of peak and pass, or, you know, invite to PBRs or home meetings or weekly meetings or coffee shops, all that, webinars, it's just add, tag, message, add, tag, message. And then we have a second group that's all about the business. It's all about the business. So that's where you learn about you want to know about the comp plan? No problem. Let me add you into our business community. I'll tag you in the comp plan video. Oh, you want to know, you know, the presentation, or you want to know more about the ranks or whatever, right? You add them into that group. So we got 2 different groups. And the reason we use 2 different groups, and by the way, I'm not telling people that they need all these groups. I'm just telling you the way we have it structured now that we've evolved. But we started out with just one group, and it was just our team group.
Yep.
So the reason we have 2 groups is because people that want to learn about the products, whether it's skincare, hair care, nutrition, makeup, travel, energy service, they just want to learn about the product or service. You don't want them feeling pressured or bombarded by all the business posts. Now, in the business community, again, that's people that know it's a money-making opportunity. And if you just think about it, let's take a step back for a second. There's more human beings in the world that want to buy a product than want to sell a product, right? Like, the average person that gets involved in network marketing, if they were to make a list of 100 people, they could probably get the majority of that 100 to buy a product over joining a business. Because most people, Brendan Burchard says 8% of society is entrepreneurial. Right. So the other 92% will sell our product to, right? Yeah. And the reason my team is doing that well, because my team actually isn't that big. My team has less than 4,000 active distributors, but we're doing over 3 million a month in sales, because 80% of our volume comes from customers it's a 17-to-1 customer to rep ratio because we have a group that is really dedicated to actually selling the product to a real consumer that just wants the product, not because they're getting in the binary or they're maybe doing the business. Like, they want the product. So if you can identify a group that you can put together to expose people to your product, fantastic. And then the other group, that's where you do your recognition. That's where you promote the calls. That's where you promote the comp plan. And then we even have more groups than that. And again, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but then we also have our own team group. There's a company training group. So it's really neat to see now that it's come to fruition, because in the beginning we felt like it might be overwhelming to have all these groups. It's really not as complicated as we thought it was. Once everybody gets on the same page with it, the duplication is like nothing I've ever seen. And again, the beautiful part about it is we're duplicating people to build their business online.
Right.
So instead of edifying an upline, doing a 3-way call and sending them a DVD or having to meet with them at a coffee shop, literally someone can sign up and within minutes they're already adding and tagging people in the groups.
All right, so John, real quick, I gotta let our people know. I, like you, listen to the marketplace. I love that about you.
Yeah.
I am listening right now to your marketplace and how it's grown to 200,000 members, 3 million in sales volume a month with a simple thing. So what I'm going to do on this show, if it's okay with your permission, is I'm going to start an OSP ATM group or something similar to show you guys and lead by example on how you can do this for yourself. Because I don't need you guys out there managing these things yet. You do need to soon. But when we can show you the power and you can become part of it, I'm just going to, like John, I'm going to follow his lead. Like, I'm not too proud to say I'm going to learn from somebody who's successful in doing it. And you guys need to do the same thing. So we are doing a new group. We have a group that's got like 40-something thousand members in it. And, if you don't manage that group properly, it can turn into a spam fest, right?
Exactly.
So John has it all dialed in. So we're going to start up that new group, though, and we'll start implementing these processes because they work. So for those of you who don't know, ATM is add, tag, message, right? And what they do is very simple because all of the success stories are just right there. And that's what's doing the telling and selling. Then you can capture the lead in the message. Maybe that's when our members would be doing the real-time lead follow-up if they watch the video or whatever. But I'm excited about what you guys are doing. I'm excited about the leadership. And I know our members can benefit from this type of training if they fully embrace it, right?
Yep.
That was so good. I want to just recap this thing you said and embrace it, because you say
you guys aren't taking notes.
I got 2 pages of notes. More people want to buy a product, less want to sell a product. 8% of entrepreneurs, 8% of people are entrepreneurs, mean 92% of people could be product users. And we kind of have this coined phrase. It's like, if you're going to take a secretary and a construction worker and a nurse and you're trying to turn them into an entrepreneur, you need to give them a system. And that is very, very, very perfect, what you guys have executed on creating for your business. And it's showing to be quite fruitful. And that's just, I love.
Well, if you guys want to partake in the OSP ATM, or we'll coin it something else, because John and I, they got that stuff unlocked. But if you guys want to participate in that, let us know in the comments. And if I have questions, I'll reach out to the experts. I mean, we have a way to plug into them. So that's great.
Well, I should probably mention also that in our Social Network Marketing Academy course, we teach all of this. We teach about marketing, branding, scripts, follow-up, how we close, how we don't do 3-way calls. We do what's called group chats. So my team does not put me on 3-way calls unless it's like an A player, someone with influence. So like in June, I did 3 3-way calls and 0 meetings. And I don't even do let me be clear. I do not even do presentations. None.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're having one of the best months you've ever had, right? Every month.
Yeah. Yep. So the one thing that we identified is that, and I don't care what you can call it ATM. I mean, look, the whole concept of ATM is really just using private Facebook groups to expose people to your community, your product, your service, your company, whatever, and they're social proof. The reason a big meeting is so successful, you ever seen teams that build, like in the company I was in, there would be teams that have 1,000 people at their weekly meeting. Like imagine every Tuesday there's 1,000 people there. So you could bring the most skeptical person there and they're going to walk in and go, damn,
something's happening here.
There's no way they brought 1,000 people here just to convince me. Like clearly a lot of other people think this is a good idea. So when you're in a group and there's a lot of action, there's a lot of people adding and tagging their friends and family and people are sharing testimonials all day.
Hashtag FOMO.
Yeah, they're full of salesmanship that you need in our profession. But when you have a group that does a lot of the telling and selling for you, you don't need as much skill set. You don't need as much ability because, we've all heard the cliche. It's a numbers game, right? It's all about exposure. If you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. But it is true. If I ATM 5 people a day and you ATM 25 people a day, even if I'm a little bit more reputable, more influential, I have more experience, but you're out producing me, you're adding 5 times as many people as I am, you're probably going to sign up more people than I am. So in our Social Network Marketing Academy course, we teach everything we do, network marketing, but also social media strategies. We really dove deep and literally updated the entire course. Right. So it included all of this ATM training, and we got some bonus trainers in there as well. So anyway, just so you know, when people are like, well, I want to learn all about the ATM,
Grady,
I want to learn all about how they're using Facebook to market and brand themselves.
We do. We have I'll post in the comments. We also have a link in the post, and we'll have this in the back office as well.
And know that if you put, I think there's even a $100 off coupon code that we got for our OSP members. Just type in OSP in the coupon code in the link above or below, and you can partake in getting to know John and Nadya a lot more and their skills and their tips and their tricks and what they teach on a daily basis, because they are full of value. They've been through the trenches. They've gone through the failures. They didn't give up. And now what they can do is what we like doing is compressing time. They can compress your time. And, maybe something that you could get to in 5 or 6 years, maybe they can point you there in a couple months or a year. That to me, 5 years of my life is a lot. I would pay a lot of money for that, especially toward the end of my life, right? So if that's you, these are the 2 that we trust, okay? These are the 2. There you go. Got some props now. I love those. So these are the 2 people that we trust and we brought on, and we want to show you guys, these are the people we learn from. And I think they're going to help us along the way as we continue to grow. And it's watching their success is amazing. If you're not plugged in, go find them on Facebook. Maybe we'll post a link to their Facebook, but you can find them. Content is amazing. Like you can go, and I like that they're short spurts. Grady and I tend to drag it on too long, and I'm going to learn from what you do, because you're on there 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes, and then you're a real person too. So you're not just educating, but you're being genuine, you're delivering value, and then you're also on your Facebook wall, not just you do share and open up, some pictures of your home or your family, and it just makes you really just a core, fundamentally solid person, So I only like attracting and working with people that are like that. He's not out there posting Lamborghinis and mansions and renting things to show it. He can afford to buy it himself, but he has things that are core values that are similar to me. And hopefully that resonates with you guys out there. Know that we're introducing you guys to good people who we feel can point you in the right direction. It's not about, just getting you as many products as you can have, because this is like the first product that we're having on our live that we're talking about. But I encourage you guys to take a look at this. A couple $100, I believe, and it can really change your business and give you that push that you need with different entrepreneurs who understand the value of online and know that you may be out of a warm market, but that doesn't mean you're over. Okay, it doesn't mean to give up. Grady?
I was going to let John talk. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I'm excited about the course. I'm excited to go through it. There's like 13 or 17 different modules, and it's just, if you like what they talk about here and the principles, and if you want to learn from people that have grown their business to the #1 position inside of their company, then check out the course below. Click the link. But one of the things I want to just make sure I ask you guys is like, what this is always it's a cliche line, but it's a line. What is the question we should have asked you?
Never heard that before.
Maybe, and I have heard that once as well. I like the question when someone asks, like, what was it that helped you finally break through and start making a 6-figure income?
I love that.
And the main reason I like that question, because I think it's a beneficial answer. And the truth is, when I started going after A players, business owners, people with influence, people that, they didn't have to necessarily even know what an MLM was, but let's say they're a very successful real estate broker, or maybe they have a law firm. Like I was telling I don't remember what interview it was. Was it with you? Or was it with Ryan earlier? Anyway, I was doing an interview literally earlier today, and they asked, like, what was it that changed where you finally broke through and started making a 6-figure income. And of course it's like, oh, I made a decision and I made it a priority. And like, oh, that's true. But the truth is I recruited this guy named Jeff Aaron. He was a real estate appraiser. I cold called him. I did not know him. He knew the mortgage company I worked for at that time. So I used that as like, hey, National Fidelity, I think I talked to you a couple of times. And he was like, yeah, I think we did talk. And I'm like, I have no idea if I talked to you or not. But, I went and met with him. I showed him the business. He joined. And through his network, I got a couple guys that didn't know each other, but they knew Jeff. And they both just happened to be like contractors, like had their own construction companies, a lawyer. What was the other one? Oh, a guy that was in the car business. Oh, and then also Ali, who was a real estate broker. So it's like 5 or 6 guys that were all sharp, all business minded, all joined my team and all hit top ranks in the company in 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Like that's when I realized like, holy crap, I need to start going after A players. And ever since 2008, and let me define an A player. An A player isn't just an outgoing person. This person's really friendly and has lots of friends on Facebook. No. An A player by definition is either a business owner or someone that's self-employed, they're entrepreneurial, or it's not and, it's or they make 6 figures. So if they make $150,000 a year, but they're an employee, like maybe they're selling insurance or they're a mortgage banker like I was, right? Like that is an A player. Why? Because typically someone that makes $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year, even $100,000 a year, they do have a job that is based on performance, right? It's more of a performance-based job. And again, that person thinks differently. They look at money differently. They look at opportunity differently. They understand that you have to sell yourself, or they understand and realize that they got to be motivated and they got to go out and build something, right? Like they just think differently. So business owners, people that are self-employed, $100,000 a year or more, preferably a couple 100,000 or more, or, and this is my third but most favorite type of A player, someone that has experienced success in network marketing. If you look, or direct sales, whatever, if you look at my team right now, so let's fast forward, that was 2008, fast forward to 2017, you look at my top leaders, right? Dave and Sandy, Jesse Lee, Julie, Jen, like I'm just naming all people off the top of my head, Marvin, Rena, all have had experience and or success in network marketing. Now you may say, well, John, I can't recruit people like that. I know you can't. I've been doing this 15 years. I would certainly hope that I can out recruit you when you've only been doing this for a couple years, right? I would hope I know more people than you when you've only been doing it for a couple months or a couple years. So the truth of the matter is you have to build up your reputation, your friendships, your network. I mean, all that is the stuff that you guys have all heard and you all know. But it wasn't until 2008. Now, again, I joined in 2001. It wasn't until 2008 that I finally made 6 figures in network marketing. It was because I started going after higher quality people. The people that we think are already successful and they won't be interested, that's wrong. The people that we think are too busy, you're wrong. They are the most open-minded. It doesn't mean they'll all join, but it does mean that if they do join, they will have more natural success and it's easier for them because they know other business owners. They have more influence, right? So go after those people. In fact, think about this. When we got back into network marketing in 2006, I had just made, in 2005, I had just made $250,000 in the mortgage industry. Now, you would think if I'm making that much money in my mid-20s, why would I get into MLM? But I did. And so did Nadya. So the truth is, busy people, successful people are the best people.
So when you decide to go after A players, you won't get them all. You may experience some failure. If you guys out there trying to do this, that's great because A players don't normally have a bunch of C and D members in their inner circle, right? You are who you hang out with, your closest 5 people, you've heard all these cliches, but they're not really just cliches for a reason, right? Yeah. A players hang out with A players. They know A players who know A players who know A players who know A players. And that can be the one differential in your entire business, in your entire career, is just getting out of your comfort zone and realizing, like, you guys don't realize this, but I'm on Facebook and I go after A plus players. I'll message Gary V and I'll just keep it. I'll message. I'm not afraid. Was he going to ignore me? He's going to say no? Okay, no big deal. I work for the no because then I'm going to get a yes. But you get out of your comfort zone. You work with people that you want to work with and you surround yourself with them. But don't just go out there and spam them either. You have to learn how to be genuine, have a conversation. I like
compliment them.
A players.
Love compliments.
Yeah, compliments. Tell them how great they are and how much you appreciate the post they made and how it changed your day, and now you're feeling better because you watched their video. Trust me, guys, these big people read their comments. They read their messages, and when you stand out, instead of just pitch, thank you, I love you, it's like, man, I was having a really bad day. I listened to that video. It got me jump-started. I made a sale, and now I'm feeling great. Thank you, John Melton. He sees that. He's liking it. He sees that a couple times from you. When you message him, you have a great way to introduce yourself as A, because he already knows who you are. And I've started doing this with big A players myself, and it works. So, John, that's a great tip. I'm glad you shared that.
That was worth the price of admission right there, right? Successful people are always looking for ways to become more successful. Why not give it to them? Why not show them what you have to offer and see
I gotta set up my lighting. I gotta set up my mic.
We gotta.
This is ridiculous. You're making us look silly.
We need to get you a background like that. Like that is
internet marketers.
Rookies.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm telling you, I used to tell Nadya, like,
so
dude, why do we have to use this stupid light? Wasn't I? I was so against the light. I was so, and then when we were making the course, we did we did a training webinar, and I'm like, that's good. Let's just, and like we did a couple trainings, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's good. Why do we have to re-record it and re-record it? And now I have to admit,
oh, there it is.
I've admitted this many times. Like everything just looks so good. Like when people get in our course, like everything's so organized. It's all content rich. She cuts out all the fluff. I mean, if there's an in there, she takes it out. Like so nice. All of these little things, because you know what happens, right? Someone buys your course, just like with your system, right? Like people buy your system and they want to tell people about it, right? They want to share OSP content because it's content rich. It's good value. The system works. The tool works. So it's not just about getting them in the door. It's keeping them in the door. And I didn't really think that stuff mattered. And now I won't do a video without good lighting.
You're doing the basics better.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, can you turn off that lighting? Everyone pay attention to this. Here's an example of lighting. Looks great, but you guys look much better with that light on, and it changes everything. Like the production quality is better. You are immediately in a different area. Like they perceive you differently. You feel differently. You carry yourself differently. You speak differently. You train differently. Things happen when you feel good and you know you're producing a great product, great results. And that was the most prime example I've ever seen of anyone to say lighting doesn't matter. And now my marketing guy who's watching, I'm going to set up these lights, okay?
Perfect. I want just for 15, 20, 30 seconds, whatever. You guys said the ATMs in there, group stuff. What other things can people look for inside of the Social Network Marketing Academy?
I mean, everything they need, prospecting, marketing strategies, creating videos, follow-up, script book, leadership development.
What to post on Facebook.
What to post, tap rooting.
How to launch a business on Facebook.
Yep. We have the 90-day accountability. Yep. We also give them access to a private Facebook community with only course members where they can ask questions and, that sort of thing. Obviously, that is a no recruiting, no prospecting community, common sense. Plus, they get lifetime access. So whenever we do an update, we add a new training. I mean, we've got people that bought our original course, several years ago, and they've never had to pay another penny to get all the updated content. So we'll continue to keep it relevant. And it's just, it's everything someone needs, not just to market on Facebook, but to build a network marketing team with duplicatable strategies.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
You guys need to get out there and get that. And also know that this is a great show for us. I mean, it's going to change our recording. It's going to change our lighting. It's going to change our audio. It's going to change our Facebook group status. We're going to try this OSP ATM because we listen to the marketplace. We follow and surround ourselves with people that we want to emulate and do the things they're doing because it's working. And we hope you guys do the same thing. And guys, you've been on longer than I thought already, and we thank you for your time. We know how busy you are, but
thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your time so much.
Get to know these two even more. Buy the course, and hopefully we can have them on here again in the future and teach us how they're doing six figures.
Double their business again. I can't wait. So yeah, guys, show some love in the comments below. It's some TYJ and N's or something. Throw some hearts, everything you can. So really, I like you guys do so good on the group engagement. Will you teach us like 2 tricks that you do? Like you get some people say put a 1, or some people just. Russell Brunson did when Periscope used to be. He like do the triple tap. Like he would get the hearts on the screen. He would always ask, but Periscope's different. So what are just as you.
Are you continuing this interview?
I'm just trying to strike as much value out of them as I can. What are some little tips you guys do?
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one, I tell people, let me know where you're coming in from, and if you're new, drop into the comments
and say the word.
Let me know if you're new by saying the word new. Yep. And
just trying to help a brother
also,
out.
I say if you're watching the replay, drop the word replay in the comments. And this is what put me from 1,000 views to thousands.
This is huge. All right, baby, drop it like it's hot.
So I started, and it was just random. One day, right? I was just randomly like, I want to get more shares, and I'm like, people love hearing their name. I like hearing my name.
Say my name.
If I get on Grant Cardone's broadcast and he says my name, right, or Shalene Johnson, or like somebody that has like a big following,
Nadya Melton.
Like I'm thinking, oh yeah, of course. But you know what I mean? When someone has like 1,000 people on their live video, and they're like, "Thanks, John Melton, for sharing," or like you're like, "Hell yeah, dude!" Like all those people heard my name, right? So I knew that was a strategy that I needed to somehow utilize, and I'm like, hey, by the way, if you share this broadcast, drop into the comments the word shared, and I'll say your name. I'll give you a shout out. Literally as cheesy as that, and it works like crazy because Facebook doesn't know what I'm saying, and they wouldn't care anyway because people are sharing it. They're like shared, and I'm saying all these people's names, and then more people are like, holy shit, I want to say my name. So I'm like, share, and then all of a sudden it's like, dude, I needed like 150 shares on a video that I was like, that same video a week ago would have gotten 5 shares.
Right.
Wow.
Because we used to be like, oh,
crazy.
Sharing is caring, and you should share this because people are going to really like it, and it's going to help people. Don't you want to help people? And it'd be like the same people sharing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, it's just pissing me off. I'm like, I got to get more. I'm like, dude, there's people that like, no offense, but I'm like, I don't feel like their content's that good, and they're getting as many shares as me. I'm like, this is pissing me off. So I'm like, I got to figure this out. I got to solve this problem. And when I started saying, hey, if you share, drop the word share in the comments, and I'll say your name, dude, like literally went from like hardly 5, 10, 50, whatever to like 100. I had one viral video. Now I want to be very clear. This was organic. This was just me messing around. It was totally random. I think I said like, and again, here's a piece of content you guys could do, like 10 reasons people fail in network marketing. And it got like 400 shares organically and like, 10, 20,000 views, whatever.
Wow.
And I was just like, dude, this is crazy. And then Nadya will take a video like that, chop it up and edit it, and then put it on the fan page, real content rich video with captions and everything, and drive traffic to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are true professionals sharing secrets, letting you inside the world where they're crafting their own success, creating new things. Get this course. Thank them. Connect with them on Facebook. John and Nadya Melton, above and beyond. Holy moly! This training is going to go viral just from all the fantastic things you guys have shared.
We learned, and we're going to implement. So we'll check back in after we do some of these things.
Yeah, if you've shared this live, put shared in the comments below. I'd love to shout you guys out right now and show some love.
Name, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the way he builds it into his content, it just randomly, he'll just be talking. He's like, and thank you, Grady, for sharing, and then he'll just keep going. I'm like, I don't know how he does it. He's good.
Yeah. Hey, let me be clear. That is not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
It's got practice.
It does. I tell you what does help.
It used to be a hot mess.
It does. Whatever. Listen, it does also help. I will say this. I like doing videos with sunglasses on, like when I'm outside, because it does. I can't explain why, but it makes it a little easier to look at comments and talk, and they can't see my eyes as much. But another thing is when we are doing videos together. Like
this is why we do a lot of videos together. There
is an advantage because one can pay attention to the comments.
Joel and I, it's harder to do it on our own. And real quick, I want to thank Doug Engel for sharing, and Bill Wilson for sharing, Tim Worthington for sharing, Brad Harridan shared it 10 times, Travis Dickerson, Aaron Frost. Thank you guys for sharing this Facebook Live.
Very cool.
We appreciate
We appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Buy the course.
Guys.
See you guys soon.
Later.
It's so great. Thank you so much.
How cool, Grady. How cool is that?
Joel, that was fantastic.
Well, I mean, I hope you guys all realize that we're just normal people. We hang out, we have a good time just like you can, but we help one another. You know, our way of hanging out was like we did this with them yesterday for about an hour also, and it's just talking, man. It's hey, what are you doing that's working? Like that could be your icebreaker. Forget the weather. Forget do you want to make more money? It's just, man, like, hey, what have you been up to, Grady? How are things going? What are you doing that's working? What's working for me? And man, this ATM thing, we kind of do it all.
ATM, A players, like that was just a value written event. That was so good.
The lighting was amazing, Grady. The difference in the lighting I've never seen.
Well, I mean, I've got a light here, but it is not a ring light. But
oh, that is crazy. We need to get whatever they have.
Let's try this. Here we go. I'll light it off. So now I look kind of whatever. How many?
Theirs was night and day, and it was amazing.
Yeah, theirs was night and day. It's a beautiful. A ring light is or a fantastic.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. We have another guest on Tuesday, and we'll send you guys an email. We'll post
that. Love the guest on Tuesday. But John Nadya Melton, thank you so much for your time, for your training, for your value you shared. I mean, they didn't hold back, man. They told us their shared secrets. They told us about the exact people to go after. They told us the ATM method, different product group, business group for recruiting and succeeding. Holy cow, pay attention what's going on in the marketplace. Anything you works. I mean, that was
Invest in yourself, be patient, have long-term vision, don't compare, complement strengths, find a teammate. If you want to get into people's heads, you must enter through their eyes. Okay, in social media,
I wrote that one down too.
In social media, that's what you have. So the production level, if you could step it up and do the basics a little bit better every single time and better than the others, it will show. So Grady, based on this live and this training that we just got, like we just got schooled in some training too. I think we're going to have better videos. I think we're going to have better lives. I think we're going to do these things because
I need a new background. My world map is not as cool as their background.
Yeah, that's really cool is that we're going to invite them on a live and then we're going to have to spend like $5,000 just to fix everything.